Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Produce Buzzers podcast. We are so happy you have joined us today, and I think you will be too after the show is over, because you will learn a lot about fresh fruits and vegetables, how to select and store them, how to prepare and cook them, and surprising facts about their history and origin. We hope it inspires you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, not only for your health, but also for your delight and pleasure as you explore their amazing world of taste and delicious flavors. Eating more of them will transform your life in so many positive ways. So settle back, relax, and get ready for another delicious adventure with the Produce Buzzers. Greetings and welcome to another delicious episode of the Produce Buzzers podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Stepp, and executive editor of ProduceBuzz.com. I'm joined once again by Teresa Nolan, the founder and president of Produce Buzz, along with Rick Stepp and Cynthia Benedetto, contributing editors to Produce Buzz. Now, podcast fans, this week we welcome back to the show one of our very, very favorite people in the produce industry. He is a longtime friend and colleague who used to work with the four of us Produce Buzzers many years ago. If he weren't so busy as a high-level executive in the produce industry now, we would have recruited him to be a regular on this show, since he was once like part of our family. This week's guest is Mark Munger, Senior Director of Marketing for Ocean Mist Farms, based in Castroville, California. Mark worked for Teresa Nolan's Nolan Network alongside Rick, Cynthia, and me in the early 1990s. He was a valuable part of our team of merchandisers representing our clients of companies and commodities on the West Coast. Since that time, he has been a rising star in the produce business, has worked for some of the biggest names in the produce industry. We've highlighted those various positions in his career on his past appearances, so we won't go through it all today, but with over 36 years of experience in the business, it's needless to say we have a true veteran of the produce world with us today who can enlighten us on just about any item that you buy in the produce department. But his current gig is with Ocean Mist Farms, a grower, packer, and shipper of all types of vegetables from a wide variety of lettuces, cabbages, brassicas, to cilantro, beets, and radishes. They are a big player in all those veggies, but their signature product is artichokes. They are the largest supplier of this favorite in the produce aisle. And we will check in with Mark to see how the new crop of artichokes is coming along, since the high season for them is just around the corner. But Mark has some new products to tell us about today that you have to stick around and hear about. These new offerings are exceedingly delicious and guaranteed to make your meal planning so much easier. So you won't want to miss hearing about them. Mark, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Hi there. I am delighted to be back and joining you. Indeed, this is like spending an hour with family. So
That's great.
great to talk to you all. And since we're on a Zoom, I get to see you all, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. And we are so thrilled with the success you've had in your career and the impact you're making on the business. But let's talk a little bit before we get into those new products and some of the other veggies you grow. Let's talk about the legacy and history of Ocean Mist Farms for a little bit. I understand your company just passed its 100th year in business. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, last
What?
year was a great year for us. Actually, June 28th, 2024, this company hit its 100-year anniversary. We are a fourth generation family owned company, and 100 and almost 1 years ago now, our founding fathers came here from Italy as immigrants. You know, the fabled stories, whether it's true or we've manufactured some exciting history, is that they actually came with seeds and some artichoke rootstocks in their suitcases when they came here as Italian immigrants, and they landed in the Salinas Valley, which was fairly undeveloped at the time, and recognized that it looked very much like the parts of Italy that they had come from. So they started to farm here in the Castroville region, planting artichokes, Brussels sprouts, celery, and some broccoli.
So those were the three beginning crops: artichokes, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli.
That was what we cut our teeth on. Yeah, those were the beginning days. And
Yeah.
in the early days, they called themselves the California Artichoke Co-op. We did not become Ocean Mist Farms until actually the 80s,
Oh, okay. Right.
which is
So
kind of
they,
interesting. It was a label on one of the boxes that really took some steam on, but we began to brand in earnest as a company in the mid 80s, and that's what most of us have grown up with, knowing this Ocean Mist brand.
yeah,
Did they
that's,
come through Ellis Island and then make a trek west?
They did. They came through Ellis Island and hopped a train and came west. True successful immigrant story. And two of the original four founding families are still in the company. Two of the families sold to other farming families, so we still are owned by four very well respected farming families, and very much a family owned and run company.
what did you do to celebrate the 100th anniversary
We
this
had a
year?
lot of
Did you?
fun. Well, the big thing we did was we refreshed or rebranded our look. We had a great logo that was well recognized, that had been around since the mid 80s, but had become outdated. And so we kind of planned a brand launch refresh around the 100 year. But with a refresh, it lets you reestablish your priorities, your strategies. So the company articulated and launched a strategic plan, a lot about where we're going in the next 100 years,
Uh-huh.
which innovation is a key part of that. And we're going to talk about that today. Part of the 100-year celebration was rolling out the new brand. We actually launched the brand on our birthday and had a big party for the staff. I think the owners have been really, really solid about recognizing that the thing that's made this company so successful is the people. So they really wrapped the 100-year celebration around recognizing and celebrating the people. And it was really fun. We had several employees that have worked for the company for 40 and one for over 50 years, if
Wow.
you can imagine. We had the four longest standing tenured employees help lower the old Ocean Mist flag, and we raised the new flag, and a
Hmm.
lot of symbolism around sort of celebrating and cherishing our history and our legacy, but also really starting to put a very strong focus on the future.
Yeah.
So we did some great community events. The company got recognized by a lot of community industry leaders. So we really celebrated the 100 year for the entire year. It was a lot of fun, and been exciting to see the new brand image rolling out, really being positively received by our team, by our customers. And now we're focused on hitting our 200-year mark, and making sure we're setting the proper groundwork to get there.
Well, I hope you're around for that, Mark. I want
I,
to see
you
you.
know, I don't know if I'm hoping that myself, but if I can be part of the legacy, and such an honor to work for this company, and I've respected it for my entire career, and to get to play a little bit of a role in helping the foundation and the focus and the look and the image for the next generation is it's been really an honor and a very exciting opportunity.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's fascinating. And with the values that I've read and seen and heard you expound about the company, focusing on the people first, uh, what you call the gold standard. That means doing everything. I'm probably butchering this, but just to me, that says we everything we do, put our hand to, we want to do it the best possible way. And so with that, I think it's a good omen that you can last another 100 years and beyond. So congrats.
Let's hope so. It's a good milestone to hit, and very few companies actually get to that through that fourth generation into that 100 years, especially in the ag industry. It's a tough industry to navigate, but
There's
no, it's fun.
there's very few companies in any industry that last that long. It's hard pressed to name any. I heard something on when I was driving back from Orlando, a segment on the King Arthur Flour Company, and they are just about. I think they are over 200 years now, and we won't get into that. But but they were saying in that the people from King Arthur were saying that they couldn't name any other companies that were that old. So anyway, it's certainly a milestone to get to 100, and sounds like you'll get to 200. So now you're in Castroville, headquartered, but you guys grow up and down the West Coast, don't you? Where else do you grow?
We do. These days, if you want to have the highest quality produce possible and have it available all year round, which really is kind of the nature of the marketplace today, there's very few seasonal items, especially the vegetables that we grow. So Castroville is our home base, but we follow the sun, and so in the fall. We grow in Oxnard, and then we move down into the desert regions. And our primary growing region in the winter is the Coachella region, which is just south of Palm Springs and kind of north of the Mexican border. We also farm in Yuma, Arizona, where a lot of our competitors also farm.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. I know you have artichokes year round, right? You supply and others. Brussels sprouts, do you get Brussels sprouts year
Yep.
round? Okay,
Yep.
because that's another.
Pretty much everything we grow, we now have year round. There are peak seasons. Artichoke peak season is really about the middle of January to early June. We have artichokes that we grow all season long, but tends to be the big season for artichokes. It is kind of the middle to tail end of Coachella and the first half of our Castroville season. If you go back to, the original artichokes that were brought here, we call them the heirloom varieties, and
Oh
they were
yeah.
perennial artichokes. And so once you planted them, they stayed in the ground for years and years and years. In fact, when they got really big, the growers would actually split the crown. So they literally, split the root system into two and then plant that. And, that's how they would grow and expand those artichokes. And their primary, the heirlooms like to produce artichokes from about the 1st of March to the 1st of June. And so that always was in the old days, the seasonal time for artichokes. We've really evolved that. It's hard to have, especially with the cost of land out here, it's hard to tie up a piece of land for an entire year for a crop that you're only harvesting for a couple of months. And so we've evolved the genetics naturally with that artichoke and taken it from a perennial to an annual. And so now we've created artichoke seeds. We seed those out into starts. We plant those seeded starts in the ground. And in about 3 months, we get an artichoke crop. And
Oh.
we'll harvest that whole artichoke crop. And then, like a lot of the other annual crops, then we actually will disc those artichoke plants and put something behind it, lettuce or fennel or Brussels sprouts. So I think just traditionally that was always the peak season. If you go back to the genetics that are inside our artichoke plants, they still like producing that time the best.
Hmm.
We've taught them and we've selected varieties that do well as the days are starting to get shorter in the fall. We've selected varieties that really like to grow in the desert. Our desert varieties are fantastic in the wintertime. Yeah, we still see the plants are happiest in springtime when the days are getting longer and we're going from cool days to warm days. All of those seasonal characteristics still are optimal for artichokes. And when we have this conversation in 10 years, our varietal development will be so far that we will have varieties that love growing in the fall, that love growing in the winter, that love growing in the spring. Right now, we're still evolving as we're continuing to select plants that are showing good attributes and producing really great tasting artichokes all year round.
That's very interesting. So the development of is it new varieties, or are you just modifying, not genetically modifying, I don't think, but modifying or breeding them to be hardier, or are they actually new varieties?
They have the genetics of our original rootstock and our original varieties, but we give them names and they have unique genetics in them. It's a tricky business breeding artichokes. I think one of the reasons that this company is a leader in artichokes is because we continue to invest in understanding the plants, but we breed them and cross-pollinate them the old-fashioned way. We'll create 400 or 500 unique varieties that will all get planted as a single plant. And then our breeders are out there looking at them and evaluating them and looking at the timing and the amount of product that is on and the size of the artichokes and the flavor of the artichokes. And out of those 400 or 500 unique varieties, they'll maybe select 5 to 8 that will go to the next season. And then they'll make about 10 of them, evaluate them further. By about the fourth year, there may be 1 or 2 that look like it has the potential to go commercial. And so it's a lot of work doing it this way, but it's kind of what we do. And I think the results have been speaking for themselves. I think the artichokes consumers are buying in the stores today still taste fantastic, have big hearts, and that's our goal to
Yeah.
get that all year round.
Right. Yeah, especially the big hearts. We love all you people with the big hearts.
Like all of you, big hearts is why you're my artichoke friends.
Yes.
How about the edible portion on the leaf? Has that gotten meatier over the years, or
It's
is it still kind of the same?
It's about the same, and understand, so here's a little artichoke trivia, maybe more than you wanted to know. But because artichokes is actually the bud of a flower, and artichoke doesn't have leaves, it has bracts. And so that's what we call those leaves. Those bracts connect to the heart, down at the base of the artichoke. And so the amount of meat you get on your leaf or your bract is equivalent to the size of the heart on that artichoke. And so we're really looking for big-hearted artichokes. And the best way when you're in the store to select an artichoke is to actually look at the stem. The larger the stem is going to correspond to a larger heart, and a
Oh,
larger the heart is going to be more meat on the leaf that you're getting, Rick, and that's kind of how it goes. We have some varieties now that we're growing that literally have stems on them that are bigger around than a silver dollar. And that heart meat goes way down in that stem. So, if you get one of those big stemmed artichokes, don't cut that stem off right next to the base of the artichoke. Cut it, 3 or 4 inches down because you're going to get good heart meat all the way down that stem.
oh, wow. Those are some great
Yeah.
tips. I did not know the bigger the stem, the bigger the heart, and that you can eat down into the stem. I don't think I've ever done that. I think I'm guilty. I cut when I cook them, when I fix them, I cut the top off. They tell you to cut the top off. I don't know if that's right. Maybe I'm violating a principle there, but I usually trim that stem right at the base. So I
Now,
guess,
cutting the top off is fine because there's not anything edible at the tip of those bracts. But
yeah.
yeah, all you need to do with that stem is just after you steam them, the skin comes off very easily, but you just remove that outer layer of skin that's on those stems. It's a deeper
Oh,
green,
right.
and get down to that lighter colored sort of heart meat. Don't throw away your stems. There's good
No,
stuff in
I
there.
never knew that. That is fascinating.
I can't describe to you the taste of an artichoke. So I love them, but what are you
And
looking for?
isn't that fun? I actually love that nobody can actually describe a taste of an artichoke. They say it tastes like an artichoke. It's such a unique, earthy,
Sure.
umami. It's such a unique flavor. You can't describe it, which is I think what makes artichokes unique. But for anybody, I tell them you want a green, firm artichoke with a nice, big, thick stem on it. That is the quintessential artichoke. We like to see nice, tight bracts, those leaves on the artichokes. That's really the criteria. We leave a lot of artichokes in the field. Our harvesters are thinking like consumers. What is an artichoke that will be good in the market and what's one that won't? And so most of the ones that you wouldn't want to eat never get in a box. But yeah, that's really it.
Are they harvested by hand?
They are all harvested by hand. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Impressive. What about, you said that when you're cooking it, that a skin should come off? Like, I don't know what that means.
Well, that was just on the stem. I was telling Edwin that, a lot of times people cut the stem all the way off, but the heart meat actually goes down the stem, and the thicker the stem, the more heart meat you're going to have in it. The outer skin of an artichoke is a little bit bitter. It's what's protecting all that good soft meat inside. And so when you've cooked them, if you're going to leave stems, and we actually sell long stem artichokes, which are really fun. They're a tricky one to get in the pot, but they'll have 12 inches of stem on them.
Wow.
And
And you can eat the 12 inches, all of it?
and you can eat the 12 inches, and
Wow.
once they're cooked, we just recommend take a potato or carrot peeler and just peel off that outer layer of dark green skin till you get down into the light green white material, because that's where you're going to get that really great rich artichoke flavor. If you eat that outer skin on the stem, it's going to be a little bit more bitter, and you're not going to like that flavor.
So you
Could you
would,
could you actually say that artichoke hearts are like a medium for the other good stuff that you put on it? Sort of like Edwin says about popcorn. He says it's a delivery system
That's
for
Rick's.
salt and butter.
no,
or
that's iceberg lettuce.
Rick, that was Rick's coinage.
It is. I have friends, and I don't actually know if I want this to be quoted, but they're like, "Oh, I love artichokes. They taste either like butter or mayonnaise." And
No, they are. I was just gonna say, I think that like umami, okay, yeah, earthy, yes, I'm down with that. But I
Yeah,
think when you
but
get to the heart of it, it is rich like butter.
yeah.
And yeah, so it's that rich intangible that's so yummy. But so, and I think that like there's going to be editing anyway when you're talking about like, can you eat the 12 inches? I'm like, okay, I was like, you were on a roll, Mark. So I didn't want to go, whoa. But in terms of like
This
the
is a
pot,
family show, not R-rated.
exactly,
that's why you can edit it.
you could cut that stem off and just put it in the bottom of your steamer and
Ah,
cook it at the same
look at
time.
that. Not just a pretty face. So but you would definitely steam it first and then peel it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And that was the
Hey,
question
Mark?
I had was could you not cut that on the long stem ones, cut the stem off and cook it simultaneously? It
Yep.
doesn't have to be attached, right?
Absolutely. And we have a great website. It's oceanmist.com.
Right.
If anybody wants to learn more than you ever want to know about artichokes, I really encourage you to go to oceanmist.com, because we have a whole artichoke section that shows how to prep them, how to cook them, how to eat them. And we have about 150 different artichoke recipes on there, everything from, Cynthia, your stuffed artichoke to your really basic, just steamed artichoke. So it's a fun site. I think probably it's the best concentration of artichoke information that you can find anywhere, and it'll answer all of your questions. Even has some fun photos and video of how artichokes are harvested and what the fields look like. The plants are really amazing and prehistoric if somebody hasn't seen them before.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a unique crop.
Right. So that's oceanmist.com. And you also, don't you have another URL that's specific to artichokes, I thought?
We do. It's called allaboutartichokes.com.
Okay.
And it just links you directly to, if you go to oceanmist.com, you just need to click on artichokes to get there. The All
Right.
About Artichokes will take you there directly. So
Yeah.
several paths will get you to the right place.
Got it. Okay, Rick, you got a question.
Yeah, a thought just entered my head. You could make Cynthia's
It's
life.
about time.
What's that?
I said it's about time.
Cynthia gave me a great idea. You could make her life a lot simpler if you could develop chips that taste like artichoke.
I do like the texture. You're right on that. And the
No
flavor.
candy. She wants the candy artichokes.
Oh no. Like I don't do the sweet and sour on that kind of thing. I just either go
Anyway.
A
hardcore sweet or
future
hardcore
innovation
yummy.
opportunity.
Right.
Seriously though, if you had artichoke chips, you call them artichokes or something like that, and
Oh.
like the vegetable sticks they have that are basically like potato chips.
Right? Yeah.
You could develop an artichoke flavored chip that actually has the real artichoke flavor in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I surround myself with artichoke things. This is artichoke powder,
Wow.
Okay.
which comes
So
from the artichoke leaves, and it has tons of great antioxidant properties about it. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
down the road, we're thinking there's probably some great potential future. Uh, it's interesting. I actually have not been brave enough to try this because it just seems kind of icky to me, but our growers and a lot of the folks that work around our artichokes all the time, after you've steamed your artichokes, at the bottom of your pan is kind of that green water.
yeah.
You steam them in the
Mhm.
water, but some of the juice has dripped out. They actually drink that. They heat it up and drink it like an artichoke tea and say that it also has great antioxidant properties. So
Interesting.
Great.
it's a very cool vegetable. It's an interesting one. And
Have
I know
have you
people
What?
listening to this some people have never had one before, and I really encourage you. This is a really good time to go buy one in the store, go to our site, learn how to cook it. Don't be afraid of it. I'm a firm believer that artichokes build community because it's one of the few foods that your mom gives you permission to eat with your hands. Everybody can peel off of a communal artichoke and dip it in their own butter, and so
as
it's a fun
if
thing
you
for the
better back
families.
off. That is my artichoke. I mean, my child, when she was like 6, 7, she would get her own artichokes. We're not
It
sharing that.
is an event. It's more than just eating a side dish. It can become an event. That's great as an appetizer to start a meal. But Teresa's got a
Absolutely.
question, I think. She was raising her hand. Yeah.
When you steam your artichokes over water, do you throw in like a celery, a lemon, a, a, a carrot too? Because that's the way I was taught to do them back when we were working with Patty Bowman.
You know what? I haven't done that. I
Uh,
will put sometimes a little olive oil in there and a little sea salt in the water. I have heard people who like to put like a little sprig of rosemary. So, you'll infuse some of that flavor into your artichoke for sure. So,
Yeah, I've done that before with lemon, olive oil, I think some sort of Italian seasonings. But what I do is during the steaming process, go in there with a spoon and kind of baste it, pour the water over so it drips down through it.
now,
So,
I will tell you the president of our company, who I think
yeah.
eats artichokes every day, I think it's in his contract. Uh, his favorite thing is to steam the artichokes until those leaves peel off just lightly. And then he takes them out while they're still very hot with a pot holder. He cuts them in half, takes out the fuzzy choke, and then he puts them on the barbecue grill for
Oh, yeah.
about
There you
3 or 4 minutes just to get a finish on them, and it
Right,
gives them a little bit of a smoky barbecue flavor.
right.
And he says he won't eat them without doing that, and so there's lots of fun things you can do.
Yeah. That
Then of course
charring.
there's that,
But
that easy dipping sauce where you take mayonnaise and a little Italian dressing, mix it together, makes it a really nice flavor while you're
yeah.
Yep.
using the delivery system of the artichoke.
Oh man, like I don't even need that. Like mine are just like so yummy. And of course, being married to uh 2 Italians, like I had to learn from this mother-in-law, that mother-in-law, all the different.
Well, it is a delivery system, but you know what's great about it is that, when you dip it, you get that sauce up front, but then you finish with that artichoke.
Yep.
And that is fabulous, that finish. It's like when I make guacamole, I like to make it chunky so that when you the last thing you taste is that little chunk of avocado. It doesn't have all the seasonings on it. And I think that's true with the artichoke. We've spent more time on artichokes today than I intended because we talked about them a lot the last time you were on, but it was great because we learned some new things here. So thanks for that. But it's time now to talk about some of these new products that you have. These are designed to make putting a meal together with your delicious veggies much easier and flavorful. I believe you call them roastables, which
We
sounds exciting.
do, yes. Edwin, yeah, we were very excited. I mentioned when we were talking about our 100 year that one of our focuses for the next 100 years was innovation. We've been primarily a commodity company growing Brussels sprouts and broccoli and
You're the
cauliflower. And
largest grower of Brussels sprouts too, right?
I think
Or that's the thing
we
you grow the most of, I
I
think you
think we can claim that we're either the second or the third largest.
do. Okay.
Indeed, Ippolito, one of our friendly competitors, I think is to claim that they are the largest Brussels sprout grower, but we're close second or third, I'm certain. But it is one of our top five items. And as a commodity company, it was a successful business model for us for our first 100 years. But it's getting harder and harder to just sell Brussels sprouts, to just sell a head of iceberg lettuce or a bunch of broccoli. Very difficult to differentiate yourself from competitors. And here in the Salinas Valley, we have some of the best growers in the world. And so we recognized that we were going to need to invest in some innovative strategies to transform the products that we were growing and make them more consumer friendly, more consumer easy. And so we did a lot of research. We actually partnered with a culinary group up in San Francisco that is a collaboration of really phenomenal chefs. And we came up with this concept called Roastables, ready to roast kits. And
Hmm.
we launched these in October with halved Brussels sprouts was our first go-to-market strategy. And the whole concept with the roastables is they're very much a meal solution for your veggies. Each roastable kit comes with our farm fresh vegetables that we're growing. In the case of our initial launch, Brussels sprouts that we've washed and halved already. And then in that bag of Brussels sprouts, you also get a little packet that has a spice kit and a crunchy topping. It's really meal simple. Takes 15 minutes from start to finish with the Brussels sprout roastables. You put your halved Brussels sprouts in a bowl, mix in a tablespoon of olive oil or your oil of choice. You open up the spice pack and mix that spice pack in. You put them on a roasting pan for 15 minutes and they're ready. You take them out, put them on a plate, sprinkle the crunchy topping on them, and they're ready to serve. And we came up with three flavors for the artichoke roastable or the Brussels sprout roastables, which was sun-dried tomato, lemon Caesar, and sweet sesame. It really is a fun meal solution. So if you get your Brussels sprouts, you don't know what to do with them. You've had them in a restaurant, you've had that indulgent restaurant experience. How do you duplicate that at home? That was really our whole focus with our initial launch.
Yeah.
And
But
the
you cook
best
at home, right?
I do cook at home, but I don't cook a lot. So, for me, I just would steam Brussels sprouts and put a little sea salt on them. But, these are
Uh,
really unique, fun, delicious flavors that anybody can do quickly. And the best part is we think we've done a great job capturing that indulgent restaurant flavor, but in a healthy package. They're still very produce centric. And so the flavors are there to help make them more interesting. But each of the roastables is less than 50 calories. It's 100% all natural ingredients, no artificial colors or flavors. We really wanted to stay true to our core business, which is growing healthy foods. What we were really excited about when I saw you all a couple of weeks ago was we just launched our second round of roastables. And so we added two flavors of broccoli florets and two flavors of cauliflower florets. And so now
Yes.
Broccoli, we have a sweet teriyaki, and we have an Italian herb. And on the cauliflower floret standpoint, we have a spicy buffalo, and we also have a Parmesan black pepper, which is really indulgent and delicious. And so we now have 7 items in our roastables, and it's been a really fun innovation for the company.
Well,
We've
I'm sorry. The reason I asked you if you cook because, I was going to lead off with like you are a Renaissance man, but maybe not completely because like you don't cook that much. However, when I saw you like flipping those burgers, aka your veggie, like it was easy enough that I feel like my husband could do it.
Yep.
And like it's not like, oh, if I threw that to my daughter, like, yeah, I know she could do it. But like I think my husband would be able to like in 15 minutes put something together. And I think that is uh that's really important.
Those
Um
were
Ye-
delicious. Mark
what what
fed it to us at the convention we were at, and they were all delicious. I didn't taste everything, but the ones I tasted were fantastic.
well you they
I
put you
think
then under the light and you were interrogated for the flavor profile and no, they
I
were
would have
really
done
good.
that. I would have done that.
What's the price point on that? What will be the price point at retail level?
It is always a challenge, and I learned a long time ago, maybe from Teresa, never tell a retailer how to do their business. Just help make their business easier to do. But our recommended retail pricing based off of consumer research that we did is $4.99 for the package. And depending on which variety, the Brussels sprouts have 5 servings, the cauliflower florets and broccoli florets have 4+ servings.
That's good
We
value.
think it's a really great value from a consumer standpoint because literally it's a great meal, it's a great solution. One of the fun things is we're getting out there. It's still new, and so we're starting to expand. We've got some stores in the Chicagoland area. We have stores in the Northeast. We're working on the Southeast, your territory of the world. The West Coast has a number of stores carrying the roastables now, but there's a little QR code on every package of roastables, or you can go to the Ocean Mist website and just look up roastables, and we have how-to videos. You can see all of our flavors on there, but we also did a whole bunch of different fun add-ons. So what else you might have in your pantry that could kick up the flavor of the roastables? And we call it sauces and sprinkles. We also have recipes that since you're roasting these on a roasting pan, what else could you put on that roasting pan that makes it a complete meal? So it's just like a whole pan meal. And so, with our sweet sesame Brussels sprout halves, a miso salmon on that roasting
Ooh,
pan is a
yum.
great pairing with the Brussels sprouts. And so, it's kind of fun. We call it our little secret menu, but we're trying to give consumers a little bit of options. There are also recipes for the roastables. We recommend you roast them in the oven, but on the website, there's recipes to saute them, to microwave them, and to air fry them as well. And so, there's a lot of ways to cook these roastables, but we really felt like it was time. There hasn't been a lot of cooking and meal solution innovation in the cooking vegetable category. I think the Little Potato Company has done a fantastic job with some meal solutions on potatoes. There's a lot of value added on the salad and lettuce side, but for things like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, there hasn't really been a lot of innovation where we're helping consumers with a solution that they can make a meal quickly. It's healthy. It's all natural. Their families are going to like it because, we've added flavors that we think make these vegetables interesting. And so we're excited and we have a great innovation pipeline. So we're looking down the road. In October, we're going to launch our next round of roastables. We're looking in the spring. We've got another item that we're queuing up. And so, we are really trying to transform the products that we're bringing to market.
Yeah, I tell you that one of the
when
biggest things about this product from a time savings is the fact that the Brussels sprouts are already cut in half, because that's That's the big part of the work, or trimming the broccoli down to the florets, the cauliflower. It's already there, and that's a big part of the process. But the flavorings really bring it to another level. So,
And the product was fresh. You know, I brought some home with me and kept them in the refrigerator for a few days. And when I used them, you know, the Brussels sprouts were not looking dried up. Your packaging must be very good to keep them fresh like that.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. And you know, it's not the easiest road getting our products to Orlando where I saw you. But no, we're really happy about that. I do apologize, Teresa, for having you taste the spicy buffalo. I should have warned you. All of the other flavors are very family friendly, but you have to really be a spicy hot lover for the spicy buffalo. It's probably the funnest one we've got, but we know it definitely has a very targeted market for
Yeah.
who's
I
going to like
love
that.
them. I
But
love
you
Did
the.
missing out.
Edwin? Oh,
It-
so okay. So
I
Edwin
tried and I
had. Did
got
it make
there.
you sweat? Did it make you
No,
sweat?
no, it's not that hot to me, but it's got enough spice to make it good. I just needed a little drizzle of blue cheese on it.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
I
go.
want.
The other nice thing about those packages is that if you don't use salt, well, there's salt in them, in the spices, you can cook those without the salt or without the seasoning on it and flavor it the way you want to. They're really good quality vegetables. And like I said, the quality after several days was still very good.
I have to also say, and you could probably edit this out.
I did everything out, you said.
Like, yeah, exactly. But Mark, like, this is so amazing. And I told you that I should have known never to underestimate you. But this is so much bigger than, yeah, we got to stop and pick up. Okay, so you chop up the stuff that you're already growing. Like, okay, yeah, great idea. But when you were going into like the machinery, the this, that, like everything that went into it is staggering.
Well, thanks, Cynthia. I mean, there's only so many minutes you can have your blog running your podcast, but there's a huge story here, which is changing culture. We have gone from a culture of being sort of a traditional, very high quality grower and shipper of fresh vegetables to a culture of innovation. And so it could be a marketing idea, but it takes a village to execute. And you know, we've had to change so many things. We've changed the varieties that we're growing so that they produce better florets. We've changed the way we harvest so that we have very consistent sizes of Brussels sprouts, for instance. We had our engineering team redesign our equipment so that we could insert that master pack. We had to actually learn to do our own master packing ourselves. Our food safety team had to implement a whole allergen control plan because we've only always brought just fresh fruits and vegetables into our facilities. And now we're actually bringing allergens in, you know, which is dairy and wheat and soy and sesame. And we had to retrain our entire operations team and our production facility team. It's been such a transformation for our company, and we've created this sort of multifaceted team to work on this project. And so teams that have really never connected have been working together. Marketing has very little connection to farming or to production and ops, and we've all been working together, and it's been really transformational from a company perspective. And so I'm excited because I think we're delivering a great product to the market. But what excites me even more is just watching how the company has evolved, gotten out of our comfort zones, hit challenges and walls that we never expected, and have been able to really innovate ourselves. And I think it's just the beginning. And we started off, Edwin, talking about the 100 years and what we did to celebrate and what that meant. But that's why I really feel like this project's been foundational for what our company is evolving into, and why I feel really confident that at some point, maybe not us, but some other people will be talking about our 200-year anniversary, because this has been a really remarkable and a very rewarding project. And I can't claim any but just a tiny bit of, of this project, because there's been so many people who have been involved and engaged, and it wouldn't have happened without any one of those little pieces working together.
Fantastic. What a great story. That's a great MBA case study. You need to write it up. I hope you're
Absolutely.
writing this up. I hope you're keeping a diary because you need to write a book.
Davis, I mean, UC Davis should have a class on this.
Yeah. Oh, really? You should write a book with your produce industry experience. I think you should think about writing a book about that whole career. I think it would be a great lesson, inspiring for people in the industry and beyond the industry. So,
How is the water situation in California for your area?
We are okay. We're not at normal for rainfall, but we're close to it. And right now the snowpack is close to average as well. So given the rainy year last year, we seem to be in pretty good shape. I'm not hearing anybody screaming yet. So knock on wood, the storms have been coming. They haven't been strong or really wet, but they've been coming. So we'll take every little drop we can get.
I'd seen that you were supposed to get some atmospheric rivers in the past weeks or so. So
you know what? It's so weird. We used to call those rainstorms, and now they're atmospheric rivers. And, I've kind of found the bigger the hype, the least exciting, and then they won't say anything and we'll get a rainstorm, where it rains 2 inches in a day. And it's like, why aren't they talking about that one?
Yeah.
Anyhow. Hopefully we're not done with winter yet.
The snowpack is the most important thing, really, isn't it?
It is. And what happens in the mountains in Northern California is much more important than what happens here. Although it's nice to get good rain here because it pushes down all the salts, really saturates the soil. It recharges the aquifers. But no, thanks for the question, Rick. So far, I think, we're looking at close to normal rainfall year, which is a good thing.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably let you go. But Teresa, do we get to torture Mark again?
Yes, we do. It'll be
You remember,
pure
Mark?
torture.
You keep coming on this show. You don't learn your lesson.
I know, and I'm not sure I get any of these, but I'll give it a try. So
yes, it's time for homegrown. Okay, Teresa.
Well, this is kind of personal, Mark. Do you have a dog?
I'm dogless at the moment, but I am a dog lover. So
Okay. All right. So everybody, what kind of dog do we think that Mark should have? And
All right.
and what should we name it?
Oh my goodness. So let's see now. It's got to have
name him
something to
Artie.
do.
You could name him Artie, or you could name him Choke.
Brussels Sprout Terrier. Is there such a thing? No, I don't know. Brussels Terrier, English Terrier. Okay. This is one of the simplest. Usually you have this long, drawn out kind of setup.
Exactly, some story.
Now it's just,
Right.
let's get Mark a dog and name it for him.
So my black and tan coonhound would probably not be dog for him.
No.
Collie and Flower should be the name.
Yes, you got it.
Goodness. I think you've been giving Edwin the answers.
Because I usually don't get them. So we're gonna it's got to be a female collie, I think, if it's going to be
Yes, if we're going to name it Flower.
That'd be very emasculating.
No, it could be like they could be like just forward on that and progressive. And
oh, brother. We didn't groan,
No, that was a good one.
Okay. Flower, the collie, will be showing up at your door soon, Mark.
Excellent.
Be ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Mark, thanks so much. We really appreciate you taking the time. And this has been enlightening, entertaining, and delicious. All right. Hope to see you again soon.
Okay. Thank you all. Great to
All right.
see you.
Mark.
I love
Talk
you,
to
Mark.
soon.
Bye.
Yeah,
Take care.
love you guys.
Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Produce Buzzers podcast, brought to you by Produce Buzz, the gathering place for lovers of fresh fruits and veggies. We hope you were entertained a bit and educated a lot about fresh produce. Be sure to join us next time, and please tell your friends to do so as well. Like, share, and comment on our Produce Buzz Facebook page, and check out our website at www.producebuzz.com. There you will find articles about fresh fruits and veggies, how to select, store, and prepare them, as well as lots of interesting facts about all the wonderful bounty the earth provides for us. Until next time, be fruitful and don't forget to veg out.